Selamat datang and welcome to our next video. Today we're going to continue on different ways to cook and explore with vegetables. What we're doing today is more like a fusion again. We're going to do something different again today and combine these vegetables with different types of dishes. We're going to do like a mixed vegetable with a noodle dish, which will be quite different. But yeah, let's take it easy. First, I'm going to go marinate this. Not marinate, but get the cauliflowers ready. We're going to roast them up. So what we just need to do is get them a bit seasoned. I've got some oil already in, and I'm just going to mix them up to get the seasonings to stick on it. So let's just do that. Since we live there's a hair. Interesting. I need to speak to my QC manager about that. Just a joke. Since we live in Europe, we try to eat more vegetables, less of a meat diet, which tends to be the norm here, because healthier is of course one thing. Cost is, you could argue cost is also a significant factor, but not the only factor. So we try to do different types of vegetables, especially to get the kids to have a good experience and also a good feel for eating vegetables. We have always fed them since they were young as much as possible vegetables. In my previous video, my first ever video on the Brussels sprouts one, that was something I've been feeding them since they were babies. So we're just going to put some curry powder. This is more of a western type of curry powder, so I'm just being a bit liberal with it. I'll add some Sichuan powder in a short while. I have to go get it because it's the other side and I forgot to get it. So I've got some garam masala that I'm just going to sprinkle on as well. Just a bit as well, not too much. Yep. And I'm going to put my Sichuan pepper powder in a short while. Okay, so while the air fryer is going, as you can hear in the background, we're going to heat up a bit of oil, just a bit. Then I'm just going to prepare the zucchini, which we have here additionally, and I'm just going to prepare that to sort of get different types of vegetables in with the noodles. The noodles is going to be interesting. I'll show you that once I'm done with the prep for this. But we're going to do an interesting a noodle that I'm not sure if many of you have had experience with. I quite like it for sure, and so do the family. So I'm just going to give some color onto this stir fry. Similar to the other videos, we just want to get a good color on it, so that because we're going to make like a gravy on the noodles, and I never really like the texture when you cook the zucchini in the gravy. So normally you stir fry it before to give it a bit of a nice crunch, rather than a more other than the softer one you get it when it's in the gravy. Tell me if you think that's just us, or do you prefer that as well? So we've been cooking for a while, and look at the color that we have. They look nice and sexy, don't they? I mean, wouldn't you much rather eat vegetables that look like this and have crunchy textures, the usual soft stuff that you get, yeah? So, okay, this one's more or less done. Then we're going to do some proteins after this. It's a bit different today because I'm going to try and confuse the kids with our protein choice, which is actually some mini sausages thing. So, and these are supposed to be vegetarian. Let's see whether they notice anything. But similarly to in the past with the previous recipes, I'm just going to give it some color. And then we're going to get the noodles ready, yeah? And maybe you can talk a bit about noodles before I start boiling them, which I'll obviously do off camera. This is like, we call it white noodles here, which is an egg noodle, and I like this because it's very similar to pan min. So if you remember pan min, it's really nice. And we're gonna do something like a law mein type of gravy for it. So it should turn out fairly straightforward and fairly simple to make. I'll come back to that in a short while, or I'll go ahead and get this done. Okay, so let me this should be quite fast, so I'm just gonna take this all out and then add water and then boil the whole noodles and come back with that. So in the meantime, excuse me, I've got the cauliflowers done. I'm boiling the noodles, and look at that, they look nice. So we're just going to put some of our usual secret sauce, Maggi, just to give it a bit more flavor. I'm going to stir it up. Since I'm still a bit early and fast, I'm just going to give this a stir, so I can then leave it in the air fryer just to keep warm. Yeah, while the rest of the noodles take place. Look at that. They shrunk a bit, so I know it looked like it was overcrowded, but yeah, it works. And yes, great flavor. That works. So noodles have been cooking. I've drained the water. I've changed it twice without getting or trying to get rid too much of the starch. I mean, I obviously had to get rid of some starch. But yeah, I mean, treating it like pasta water, I kept some. I had to change it twice because it was really cloudy. This is mushroom powder, which is a real great lifeline for me because having to make more vegetarian meals, flavoring it is always an issue. So vegetarian mushroom powder comes in really handy. I'm going to use some lemongrass powder just to give it a bit of a floral taste because I don't want it to make it too boring, as sometimes it could be if you go by a traditional law mein type of recipe. And also some galangal. So it's just to make things a bit interesting. Let's see. Got the water boiling. Noodles is almost done. I'm giving a bit more time because obviously al dente means a bit different to us. Noodles are more or less done. Just going to need to taste this. I didn't salt my water, so I'm going to salt it now. That's what we'll do. We'll salt the water. I should probably do a little taste test in a short while. But yeah, the noodles are more or less done. As you can see, they look great. They'll come out similar to if you eat pan min, the Chinese style, the meat type, the hand torn, they call it meat. And yeah, the texture and taste is very similar. So I'm doing a bit of putting some flavored oil. This is truffle oil, again just to give it some vegetarian flavor. And yes, I'm adding oil to my boiling pasta water, but yeah, because we're not doing a normal Western style, I will take the risk. So let me just do a quick taste test. Yep, it's nice, nice. Okay, so I've got some starch water that I've been boiling. I'm just going to do one more texture test for the noodle to make sure the doneness is fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Still a bit, yeah, it's a bit still al dente, but yeah, that's fine. It's not a big ask or a big problem. Oh, come on. This is cornstarch that I had sitting in my cup for too long. And now it's gone all rogue on me. I should have stirred it up. Bit of oversight on my part. So let's hope I didn't tin it too much. But yeah. Give it a bit of a thicker texture. Then I'm gonna put in the Maggi sauce. And then finally add in everything that we have been doing. So Okay. Maggi sauce for taste. Of course, you can add anything you want. Oyster sauce, any kind of sauce. That's not really a problem. So let's see where we are. Taste test before I add everything in. Great. That's very nice. Okay. So maybe just a bit, a tad bit. And now I throw everything back in, and we're ready to eat. So, and that's the end of this segment or session. I hope you liked it. Just to show you some of the things that we do to try and make things healthy for the kids, for the family, you know, or making it interesting still. So you can see the color looks inviting, and yeah, it's not too soft because it's hardly spending time in the water. So that's it all for today. Hope you like. Remember to like and subscribe. That will really help. And until then, sila makan, jumpa lagi.